Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Forgotten Gear Restorations. I'm sitting here in Orange County, California, in the midst of a heat wave, sweltering, or as my friends on the East Coast would say, it's a real schwitz, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, let's jump back into that old Ampeg B15N and see what's cooking. We made some nice little revisions and changes to give it a better shot at a longer life. Hope this finds you and yours well. Bye-bye. All right, Patrick, so here we go in the power amp, and you can see I bundled the wires into harnesses wherever possible. I had to remount that cap can and also just reconnect and resolder the wiring there to it. And you can see out of that harness, I've got the leads going over to the rectifier. What I did was remove a minimal amount of trace material so we can reliably mount and run these backup rectifier diodes. And you can see three. One of them goes over to the bias circuit. I've used 5408s. Is that overspecking? Sure. But you know, we got the space, we got the parts. Why not just do that? It's not like you don't need 3 amps worth of diode there, but why not? So then you can see the little feed going over towards your bias supply. And then you can see that I've removed that old dynamite stick, 25 microfarad capacitor from CE, and I mounted, it was a vertical tag strip there, and then I just removed all of the tags, save for this one here, just for space's sake, and we don't need the extra length anyway. So this is minimal strain here. I like it. It's much better than using that glue on, or rather that stick on a wire wrap mount, a little squeaky camera mount, so pardon that. And you can see the new bias supply caps there. This is a 1K dropper. That was sticking up about, I don't know, like almost 1.5 to 2 inches off the board. Way too much. It probably explains why this solder pad was damaged and the dude used super glue here. So what I did was I used one of my lead bending tools, put a 90-degree bend in it, soldered it where it's contacting the trace there. And then I'm also soldering it directly to the socket pin there. So we have a lot of stability with a little less chance of having some mechanical or vibrational strain affecting the thing. So you'll see a bevy of new signal caps on the right hand side. Those are Vichets that are replacing some leaky Mojo vitamin type caps. I've again corrected the isolation aspect of the output jack, since the hardwired cable with its safety pin was removed. That was a big source of hum there. Also, you want to make sure, since this is in series with the main speaker jack, that this is not touching the chassis and this is staying isolated as well. So rebundled the wire harness here. You can probably see that there, pardon the squeaky camera mount. That takes us back to some other areas where I made some repairs, mainly to the leads going off of the volume potentiometers, and also out of the input jacks. Basically all the stuff that was touching the grid pins there needed to be repaired. That was another source of hum. So just lots of opportunity for noise to creep in to the signal. All that's taken care of, and the only thing that we're waiting on is a triplet of new 6 SJ7s, and then we'll be ready to ship her on back to you. But yeah, man, I'm really pleased with how this came out. I really am. Pardon that noise. This thing's such a pain. So this should be nice and reliable for use on the road. I know you guys have some stuff cooking over there. I wish you the best on all that, man. But that's it. You were asking me about, is 40 microfarads too stressful for GZ34/5AR4? The answer is no. Most folks run them at 50 or 47, depending on which caps they're getting, and they last as long as they can last. And also, we're taking some strain off with the backup rectifier diode, so she should live a very long and happy life. I can't imagine what else I can go over. Obviously, all the routine maintenance is taken care of, the pots, jacks, the switches, all that stuff. Tube sockets have been cleaned, retensioned. This circuit board has been scrubbed like 4 times with isopropyl alcohol, as well as the rest of the chassis. There's no loose wire clippings or solder splashes or blobs anywhere in here waiting to sneak out on you. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but yeah, I cleaned up all the wiring on these jacks as well. Just everything that could be cleaned up or optimized was, and it's still true to its original spirit, except you have just a touch more filtration on that reservoir cap. And that's it. So hope this finds you and yours well out there. Bye-bye.